Hey everyone! Today we will be talking about torso rotation in the golf swing and what it means to the golfer when looking at their overall performance. Torso rotation is the amount of rotation a golfer generates with their upper body in their golf swing, and it is measured relative to the target line. Positive rotation is rotation that is more open to the target, and negative rotation is rotation that is more close to the target line. Torso rotation is important because it will directly influence the start direction of a shot and also how much speed a golfer is going to be able to generate in their golf swing, and then hopefully transfer that energy into their arms, out into the club, and into the ball. Typically, a large amount of rotation will give the player more time to produce speed, but only if they're able to stay stable in their other metrics. The proper amount of rotation is very dependent on the player and what their body is able to produce. When a player can produce rotation and remain stable in the other movements of bend and side bend, then they will have the ability to use that rotation. But if they are achieving the rotation by losing stability in the other metrics, more commonly they will not have the ability to use that rotation in a good way to produce speed, and it might even rob them of speed in their golf swing. Typically, we will want to see rotation numbers of the torso in the backswing of between 80 and 90 degrees, rotated close to the target line. Now, this is a pretty wide range and is directly related to the player's mobility and stability capabilities. At address, we typically want to see the torso rotation around 10 degrees open or positive 10 degrees. This is because the combination of forward bend and a little bit of side bend will set the rib cage slightly open at address. At the top of the swing, as I've mentioned, we typically want to see between 80 and 90 degrees of rotation, but again, this is going to be very dependent on the player and what their capabilities are. Ideally, we want the most amount of rotation, assuming the player was able to achieve good bend and side bend patterns to give them the most time to create speed in the downswing. Typical faults would be under or over rotating. Under rotating could be due to poor mobility, and over-rotating could be due to poor stability in the torso. At impact, we will see slightly less rotation than the player had in the backswing. Typically, we see between 15 and 30 degrees of rotation at the point of impact. We can see torso rotation patterns by looking at the upper body angles graph or by looking at torso rotation metrics in the swing summary report. In conclusion, torso rotation is important because it can influence shot direction and overall speed production in the golf swing. If we see an issue in torso rotation, many times a player will try to compensate by timing it up with their hands, and this is just going to lead to more inconsistency in their shot outcomes.